Students, now you can send your details. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's introduce Stuintern Technology Private Limited. So we'll start with our today's masterclass. Okay. Stuintern Technology Private Limited has a successful track record in the field of academia, research, training, recruitment, and job assistant since its inception in 2018. We also offer training and internship for all levels of professional world. It starts from +2 level to a seasoned professional. We in Stuintern Technology emphasize academia and research development as no civilization can survive without education and can't progress without research. We work with each applicant to prepare them for employment ready. Stuintern Technology bridges the gap between employer and employee via industry, product specific selection, and pre-employment training. Just for a quick look, I'm just sharing my screen. Give me a second, which Stuintern family holds. So, Stuintern Technology have a learning and teaching platform, which is prive.com. For internship program, we have stuintern.com. For professional resume builder, we have resumemotion.com. For searching job nearby your location, we have Navrojan portal. And for education, we have Vidyapur for searching universities, schools nearby your location. For psychometric test, we have sudaksa.com. For research, we have anushram.com. So from here, Janin sir, you can start with today's masterclass.
So much, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, yes, good afternoon, all. Is this audible, everyone? आवाज आ रहा है सबको, friends?
Students, if possible, please switch on your camera so that it will be an interactive session.
Which language you are comfortable? English or Hindi? Yes, friends. English. Most of them are comfortable with English language. Okay. English and both. Okay. So we'll keep it mix and match. That is Hindi and English both. Okay. So yes, before we'll start, friends, first of all, welcome you all for the first session of, you can say, your income tax TDS. So before I start, friends, let me introduce myself. Myself, Janendra Mishra, and I'm into teaching profile from last 7 to 8 years, where I'm giving practical training to working professions like you people, and for those who wanted to make a career in accounting and taxation, I used to provide them a practical training. Practical training based on accounting like GST, income tax, TDS, finalization of accounts, tally, SAP, and all that things. As far as my education qualifications are concerned, I did my graduation and chartered accountancy course. And apart from online training, I mean, apart from training domain, I'm also into practice, friends, where I have my own individual clients for which I'm doing their regular accounting related work, handling their taxation related work. Yes, whether it is income tax, TDS, GST, accounting, consultancy kind of work is going on. Okay, so as far as friends practical trainings is concerned, as far as practical training is concerned, whenever you are taking a training, friends, I mean, when I used to put it, that is job oriented training. I mean, we are here to, our main motto is to get the good job. We'll get the good job only if you have the practical knowledge. Yes. So practical knowledge means friends, how, I mean, we are going to get a training in the same way how the work is done in accounting industry. Yes. So that way we are going to learn your ITR, GST, TDS, all the works similar to in the similar way it has been done in your accounting related firm or CA firms. Okay. So that's about myself, friends. And I once again welcome you all. Yes. So let's discuss today's concept, friends. Let's discuss today's concept. The topic basically, friends, which we are going to learn. Uh, Madam, kindly make me the host so that I can share my screen. Please make me the host so that I can share my screen. I'm not able to share my screen. Sita ma'am, kindly make me the host so that I can share my screen, please. Ma'am, you can hear me. Okay, thank you so much. Ma'am. Thank you so much. Is this screen is visible to everyone? सबको screen दिखाई दे रहा है? Yes, friends. And you all
Yes, sir,
can see
it's
this.
visible.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's first discuss, friends, what is the concept of TDS with the help of some examples. हम दो तीन examples देते हैं and with the help of that example, we'll try to understand the concept of TDS. Okay. Uh, Say suppose, friends, I'm working for Reliance Industries Limited. I'm working for Reliance Industries as accounts manager. So myself, Janendra, I'm working for Reliance Industries Limited. So friends, here I'm working for Reliance Industries Limited. So friends, I will be called as what? Employee, and the organization for which I'm working, they are my employer. I will be called as employee, and the organization where I'm working, friends, they are my employer. I'm not working free of cost, friends. Whatever services I'm giving in capacity of employee, for that the employer pays what, friends? Salary. Who pays the salary? Employer pays the salary. Employer pays the salary. That means, friends, as an employee, I receive the salary. Employer pays the salary. That means as an employee, I receive the salary. So from employer's point of view, friends, if you think from employer's point of view, salary paid is an expense. From employer's point of view, they are paying the salary. So for them, it is an expense. And for me as an employee, I used to receive the salary. So for me, friends, it's a income. For me, it is an income. So it is income for who? It is income for employee. Yes, friends, it is an income for employee. So say suppose, friends, say suppose I'm receiving salary of say 80,000 rupees per month. So in financial year, we comprises of, it comprises of 12 months, April to March. So I have earned total income by way of salary, how much? 9 lakhs. Who has earned this income? Employee has earned this income. Since employee has earned the income, on the income, friends, we have to pay the tax. So who is supposed to pay the tax, friends? Tax किसको pay करना है? The employee is supposed to pay the tax because this income is earned by the employee. So employee has to pay the tax. So employee has to pay this tax out of the income. That's why it is called as income. That's why it is called as income tax. So says our friends, I have to pay tax. An example, 5%. I have earned a total income of 9,60,000. On 9,60,000, friends, I have to pay tax how much? 5%. An example. So 5% of 9,60,000 comes to how much? 48,000. So how much I have earned? I have earned 9,60,000. Out of 9,60,000, 48,000, friends. 48,000 I have paid to whom? 48,000 I have paid to the government. मैंने अर्न कितना किया फ्रेंड्स? 9,60,000. 9,60,000 में से 48,000 I have paid to whom? Government. So after payment of tax, the balance income, which I can spend for myself, is how much, friends? 9,12,000. So I have received 9,60,000. Out of that, 48,000 I have paid to the government. So balance income with me is how much? 9,12,000. Yes. Now, friends, try to understand. Government has a fear. Government has a fear. Government को थोड़ा डर लगता है. क्या डर लगता है? Government thinks that the employee who receives the income might not pay the tax. जो एम्प्लॉय को सैलरी मिल रहा है, इनकम मिल रहा है, वो शायद टैक्स पे करे या ना पे करे. And if employee doesn't pay the tax, if the person who earns income doesn't pay the tax, means there is a loss of revenue for the government. Government will not get the tax. So government को क्या लगता है friends? जो employee income earn कर रहा है, वो शायद tax ना पे करे. And it is impossible for the government to trace. Government को उनको trace करना भी possible because employees are large, so government cannot trace. So what does government do, friends? What does government do? Government goes to employer. Government किसके पास गया? They goes to employer and they say to employer, see Reliance Industries Limited, listen, you are paying salary to your employee. Reliance says, yes sir, we are paying salary to employee. What happened? Any issue? Government says no issue. How much you are paying? Employer says, sir, we are paying 9,60,000 in a year to our employee. So government says, do one thing. Out of these 9,60,000, your employee has to pay 48,000 tax. Government employer को क्या बोलता है friends? आप अपने employee को 9,60,000 tax pay करो, कोई problem नहीं है. But 9,68,000 में से आपके employee को 48,000 क्या करना है? Tax pay करना है. So what does government says? Do one thing. While paying this salary, do one thing. The income tax which is supposed to be paid by your employee, that income tax you deduct. That income tax which is supposed to be paid by your employee, that income tax you deduct it. 48,000 you deduct it, and after deducting 48,000, how much is to be paid, friends? 9,12,000. 9,12,000 is to be paid to whom? 9,12,000 is to be paid to employee, and the 48,000 which is deducted from our salary, that is to be paid to whom, friends? 48,000 is to be paid to whom? Government. So who has paid this 48,000 to the government, friends? The employer was paying 9,60,000. Out of that 9,60,000 friends, employer has deducted how much? 48,000. That 48,000 they have paid to whom? Government. And remaining 9,12,000 they have paid to whom? Employee. So in this example, friends, in this example, who has deducted the tax? Reliance Industries Limited. That is, we can say employer has deducted the tax. So the person who deducts the tax, जो person tax deduct कर रहा है, that person is called as, friends, that person is called as deductor. The person who deduct the tax is called as deductor. And the person from whose income, the person from whose income the tax has been deducted, that person is called as what, friends? Deducting. So in this example, friend, the employer was paying 9,68,000. So out of that 9,68,000, employer has deducted how much? 48,000. So the person who deducts the tax is called as deductor. And the person from whose income the tax has been deducted, they are basically called as what, friends? Deducting. Okay. One more example. One more example. We'll take one more example. I'll take one more example. Say suppose, friends, Reliance Industries Limited wanted to start their business in Mumbai. Say suppose they are based in Gujarat. Now they wanted to start their business in Mumbai. But in Mumbai, they don't have office space. So in Mumbai, I own a big corporate office. I own big corporate office. I'm the owner. In Mumbai, I own big corporate office. So Reliance Industries Limited, they approached me and they said, sir, we wanted to start our business in Mumbai and we want some office space. So I said, no problem. Here in Mumbai, I own so many properties, so you can use that, but not free of cost. मैंने रिलायंस को क्या बोला फ्रेंड्स, रिलायंस अपना बिजनेस मुंबई में स्टार्ट करने चाहते हैं. सो मेरे पास आया, बोलते सर मुझे मुंबई में एक बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है हमारा, तो हमें ऑफिस चाहिए. मैंने बोला ठीक है, मुंबई में मेरे बहुत सारे ऑफिस है, यू कैन यूज दैट. आप यूज कर सकते हो, मेरे बहुत सारे ऑफिस है, यू कैन यूज दैट, बट नॉट फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. नॉट फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. आई एम गोइंग टू चार्ज यू व्हाट? Rent. You have to pay me what? Rent. So Reliance says, yes, sir, no problem. We will pay you rent. So I said 50,000 rupees per month will be the rent. मैंने Reliance को क्या बोला, आप मेरा ऑफिस यूज करो, 50,000 per month will be the rent. Now friends, who is paying this rent? The Reliance. They pays the rent. And I am the owner of that property, which is used by whom? Reliance. So Reliance Industries pays the rent. So friends, as a owner, I receive the rent. I receive the rent. So from Reliance Industries Limited point of view, they are paying the rent. So for them, friends, rent paid is an expenses. And for me, friends, I'm receiving the rent. I'm the owner. I have given my property to be used by Reliance. मैंने अपना property किसको दिया? Reliance को use करने के लिए. I receive the rent. Yes, I receive the rent. So for me, friends, the rent which is I'm receiving, for me it is income. Yes, friends? For me it is income. It is income for whom, friends? For owner. So say suppose, friends, I'm receiving income. Rent is an income for me. I'm receiving income of 50,000 per month. So for 1 year, April to March, during the financial year, I have earned total income of 6 lakhs. During the financial year, I have earned total income of how much, friends? 6 lakhs. So 6 lakhs is the income of the owner. Now, friends, on this income, as soon as you earn the income, friends, you have to pay the tax. So I have to pay tax on the income. So that is, friends, that's why it is called as income tax. Say suppose, friends, again I have to pay 10% tax. An example. 6 lakhs मैंने अर्न किया फ्रेंड्स, 6 lakhs में से गवर्नमेंट को 10% मुझे टैक्स पे करना है। मुझे मतलब कौन फ्रेंड पे करेगा? ओनर को पे करना चाहिए। So 10% of 6 lakhs comes to how much? 60,000. So 60,000 I have paid to the government. After paying the tax, बैलेंस इनकम, मेरे पास बैलेंस इनकम कितना बचा फ्रेंड्स? 5,40,000. So I have received how much friends? 6 lakhs. Out of that 6 lakhs, how much I have paid to the government? 60,000 I have paid. So balance income after paying the tax is how much? Is 5,40,000. But again friends, same scenario. Government again has a fear. गवर्नमेंट को फिर से डर लगता है कि ये जो ओनर है, द पर्सन हु इज रिसीविंग द रेंट, दे माइट नॉट पे द टैक्स. द ओनर, द पर्सन हु रिसीव्स द रेंट, दे माइट नॉट पे द टैक्स. ओनर जो उसको इनकम मिल रहा है, जो रेंट वो अर्न कर रहा है, वो शायद टैक्स पे नहीं करेगा. तो व्हाट डज गवर्नमेंट डू फ्रेंड्स? गवर्नमेंट किसके पास जाता है? दे गोस टू रिलायंस एंड दे सेड, Reliance, listen, Reliance. You are paying what rent? Reliance says, yes, sir. We are paying rent to landlord. Reliance says, how much you are paying? So Reliance says, sir, we are paying 6 lakh rupees in a year. That is 50,000 rupees per month. So Reliance, government says, okay, no problem. Out of this 6 lakhs which you are paying to your owner, गवर्नमेंट रिलायंस को क्या बोलता है? 6 लाख जो आप अपने ओनर को पे कर रहे हो, लैंडलॉर्ड को पे कर रहे हो, out of this 6 lakhs, your owner has to pay income tax. Your owner has to pay what? Income tax of 60,000. Of how much means? 60,000. So government says, do one thing, don't pay full 6 lakhs to him. Don't pay full 6 lakhs to him. Out of 6 lakhs, the tax, the 60,000, you deduct it. Government ने Reliance को क्या बोला? Don't pay full 6 lakhs to your owner. Out of that 6 lakhs, 60,000 you deduct it, and after deducting 60,000, you just pay how much to owner? Owner को कितना पे करना है? Owner has to be paid how much? 5,40,000 is to be paid to the owner, and this 60,000, listen, this 60,000 which is deducted from the income of owner, since it is deducted, since it is deducted, and when it is deducted at the time of paying the income, that's what is called as at source. The 60,000, the 60,000 is to be paid to whom, friends? Government. The 60,000 is to be paid to whom, friends? Government. Getting it, friends? So in this example, friends, in this example, who has deducted the tax? In this example, who has deducted the tax? Reliance. Reliance was paying 6 lakh. So out of 6 lakh, 60,000 Reliance has deducted, and Reliance 60,000 has paid to whom? Government, and 5,40,000 they have paid to whom, friends? To the owner, to the landlord. Yes. So here, who will be the deductor, friends? Deductor will be the person who deduct the tax. So Reliance Industries Limited will be, yes, Reliance Industries Limited will be deductor, and I was the owner. I have received less amount, so I will be called as, friends, I will be called as what? Deductee. Getting it, friends? I will be called as what? Deductee. Right? Okay. So we'll take one more example. That's last example, friends. Last example. TDS. Very important concept, and very important concept. Very frank with you, friends. Very important concept. When you start working in the accounting domain, you will find that in your day-to-day life, there will be so many transactions. There will be so many transactions which has impact of TDS related provisions. Which has impact of TDS related provisions. So it is a good accountant is the one who knows what TDS, at what rate TDS is to be deducted, under which section TDS is to be deducted. at what rate is to be deducted, what should be the threshold limit. So in accountant's life, TDS related provisions is forming part of their day-to-day accounting life. Okay, great. So let's take one more example. In ICICI Bank, friends, in ICICI Bank, I have invested in fixed deposit. Myself, Janindra, I have invested in fixed deposit. मैंने ICICI बैंक में 5 लाख रुपीज का क्या रखा है फ्रेंड्स, फिक्स्ड. Now friends, try to understand here in ICICI Bank, I have saving account. So I will be called as account holder. I am a account holder or I am a customer for the bank. So in ICICI Bank, friends, I have invested how much? 5 lakhs in fixed deposit. On this 5 lakhs, friends, bank has to pay me what? Interest. हमने जो 5 lakhs rupees invest किया है, उसके ऊपर बैंक वाला मुझे एवरी ईयर क्या पे करेगा फ्रेंड्स? इंटरेस्ट. Say suppose interest rate is 7%. Say suppose interest rate is how much? 7%. So how much interest I am going to get? 7% on 5 lakhs. Yes, friends, 7% on 5 lakhs. 35,000. Who will pay this 35,000, friends? This 35,000 is to be paid by whom? Bank pays the interest. 35,000 as an interest will be paid by whom? Bank. Bank pays the interest, friends. So as an account holder, I am going to receive the interest. Yes. Bank interest pay कर रहा है friends. So as an account holder, I have to receive the interest. Bank pays the interest, friends. Bank pays the interest. So from bank's point of view, interest is an expenses because they are paying it. बैंक वाले इंटरेस्ट पे कर रहे हैं, तो बैंक वालों के लिए इंटरेस्ट क्या हुआ? एक्सपेंस हुआ. और मुझे तो इंटरेस्ट क्या हो रहा था? I was receiving the interest. So for me, friends, for me it is an income. मेरे लिए income है friends. So if it is my income, friends, I have to pay the tax. If it is my income, friends, I have to pay the tax. So how much income I was earning? 35,000. Income which I was earning, friends, by way of interest is how much? 35,000. So say suppose, friends, out of this 35,000, it is my income. Since it is my income, out of this income, I have to pay tax to the government. That is income tax. मुझे पे करना है. Assume करते हैं friends, I have to pay 5% tax. An example, 5%. So out of 35,000, 5% I have to pay the tax. That is 1,750. After paying the tax, the balance income will be how much, friends? 33,250. But friends, again, government has the same fear. Government को same डर है. What does government fear has? That the person, the account holder, he, after receiving the interest of 35,000, he may not pay the tax to us. Government को लगता है कि ये जो account holder है, this person, he after receiving the interest will not pay the tax. If he will not pay the tax, there will be a loss for us. So what does government does, friends? Government goes to ICICI Bank. Government किसके पास गया? Bank के पास गया. They said, listen ICICI Bank, listen, you are paying interest. Bank says, yes sir, we are paying interest. What I'm paying? Any issue? Government says, no issue, no issue. You can just pay it. But do one thing, out of this 35,000, the interest which you are paying, out of this 35,000, the interest which you are paying to your customer account holder, out of this 35,000, your account holder has to pay a tax, income tax. Government says your account holder has to pay income tax of 1,750. So do one thing, government इसको क्या बोलती है बैंक को, कि आप जो 35,000 पे कर रहे हैं अपने अकाउंट होल्डर को, आउट ऑफ दिस आपका अकाउंट होल्डर कस्टमर उस पे 1,750 क्या भरेगा, टैक्स भरेगा। तो एक काम करो, डोंट पे हिम फुल अमाउंट, डोंट पे फुल अमाउंट टू योर अकाउंट होल्डर, you just pay him how much? 33,250. 33,250 is paid to whom, friends? 33,250 is paid to account holder. 33,250 is paid to the account holder. Yes. And 1,750, which is a tax, income tax, since it is deducted from the income, that's why it is TDS. It is paid to whom? 1,750 is paid to whom, friends? To the government. Who has paid this 1,750? 1,750 is paid to the government by ICICI Bank. So friends, who will be the deductor here? Deductor will be ICICI Bank. Who will be the deducting? Deducting will be, friends, the account holder will be the deductor. So friends, there are certain payments. There are certain payment while making payment of those expenses. It is our responsibility to deduct the tax. It is our responsibility to deduct the tax, and then we have to pay to whom, friends? Then we have to pay to whom? Government. Just go to the first example, friends. In first example, employer was paying salary to employee. Yes, friends. In the first example, employer was paying salary to employee. How much, friends? 9,60,000. Out of this 9,60,000, friends, employer has deducted how much? 48,000. This 48,000 employer has directly paid to whom? Government. And this 9,12,000, the balance amount, balance income, balance they have paid to whom? Employee. So friends, the person who deduct the tax is called as deductor. So here friends, employer will be deductor. Employer will be deductor. So for deducting a tax, friends, for deducting a tax, employer should have a TAN number, tax deduction account number. TAN number means what, friends? Tax deduction account number. Meaning, friends, if the employer does not have the TAN number, अगर employer के पास TAN number नहीं है, if the deductor does not have the TAN number, they cannot deduct the tax. Like friends, for paying income tax, we should have PAN number. Income tax pay करने के लिए अपने पास क्या होना चाहिए, friend? PAN number होना चाहिए. Similarly, TDS pay करने के लिए, deduct करने के लिए, employer, that is deductor, should have what? TAN number. So first of all, employer, that is deductor, has to apply for TAN. सबसे पहले फ्रेंड्स एम्प्लॉयर को क्या करना पड़ेगा? एम्प्लॉयर हैज टू अप्लाई फॉर टैन नंबर. So friends, format of TAN number will be like, I'll just explain. 4 alphabet, 5 number, again 1 alphabet. This is the format of TAN number. 4, 5, 1. 4 alphabet, 5 numbers, 1 alphabet. And what's the format of PAN number, friends? PAN number का format क्या होता है? 5 alphabet, 4 numbers, and again 1 alphabet. Yes. So for deducting a TAN, for deducting a TDS, means for deducting a TDS, deductor should have TAN number. Deductor has to apply for TAN number. Then after applying TAN number, friends, every time, whenever employer pays what? Salary. After applying TAN number, whenever employer pays the salary. So friends, here in this example, how much salary employer was paying? 80,000. Yes. Employer was paying salary of how much, friends? 80,000. out of his this 80,000, every time when he pays the salary to employee, every time employer has to deduct what friends? TDS. How much TDS they have deducted friends? They have deducted TDS of 5%. So let's calculate per month wise. 4,000. After first step is friends, we have to apply for PAN number. Then every month, whenever we pay the salary to our employee, out of that salary, we have to deduct the tax. Who will deduct the tax, friends? Employer will deduct the tax. After deducting the tax, friends, what is the next step? We have to pay that tax. How much? How much tax we have to pay? 4,000. So first deduct the tax, then pay that tax to the government. Now, friends, after payment of TDS to the government, that is tax to the government wants certain information. एक बार हमने गवर्नमेंट को once employer pays the tax to the government wants certain information from the employer, that is deductor. What kind of information? Government says, give me the detail about the number of employees who are working with you. मुझे डिटेल दो कि आपके यहाँ पे कितने एम्प्लॉइज थे, your name, ये पैन नंबर, उनका नाम, उनका पैन नंबर, हाउ मच सैलरी यू हैव पेड, आपने उनको मंथ वाइज कितना सैलरी पे किया, आउट ऑफ दैट हाउ मच टैक्स यू हैव डिडक्टेड, उसमें से कितना टैक्स डिडक्ट किया, एंड व्हेन दैट टैक्स इज पेड, वो टैक्स आपने गवर्नमेंट को कब पे किया, दैट इंफॉर्मेशन गवर्नमेंट वांट. So who will give this information, friends? Employer, that is deductor, will give this information to the government. So that is called as TDS return. And information is to be given to the government. That's why it is called as TDS return filing. So who will file this TDS return, friends? It is a responsibility of deductor. It is a responsibility of deductor. Now, after filing TDS return, friends, after filing TDS return, what is last step? Think you are an employee. Think you are an employee. So when you have joined the organization, your salary was decided as 9,60,000. जब आपने उस जॉब को ज्वाइन किया, हमारी सैलरी कितनी डिसाइड थी फ्रेंड्स? 9,68,000. बट हाउ मच वी हैव एक्चुअली रिसीव्ड? हमको एम्प्लॉयर ने दिया कितना फ्रेंड्स? 9,12,000. So we receive less salary. So we went to our company. हम बॉस के पास गए and we asked them why I have been paid less salary. मुझे कम सैलरी क्यों दिया? So they said we have deducted your TDS. मैंने आपके सैलरी में से TDS डिडक्ट किया. ऐसा आपके एम्प्लॉयर ने बोला, बॉस ने बोला. TDS डिडक्ट करके गवर्नमेंट को हमने पे कर दिया. We have deducted TDS and we have paid to the government. So we said give me a proof. एम्प्लॉय ने क्या बोला फ्रेंड्स? Give me a proof that you have deducted TDS and paid to the government. I want proof. Who has asked for this proof? The deductee has asked that proof from deductor. Employee has asked that proof from employer. So that proof is called as friends TDS certificate. That proof is called as what? TDS certificate. So after filing TDS return, friends, at the last step, we as a deductor, we have to issue TDS certificate to all the employees. We have to issue TDS certificate to all the employees. So friends, whenever you are learning TDS, you should know all these things. जब भी आप TDS पढ़ रहे हो फ्रेंड्स, अपने को इतना ये नॉलेज होना चाहिए. How to apply for TAN number, how to do accounting for TDS related transaction, how to deduct TDS, at what TDS we have to deduct, how to pay the TDS, how to file TDS return, and how to download the TDS certificate and issue to the employees. We should know all these things. And friends, in real life, friends, the employees who are working with us, उनको ये TDS का नॉलेज नहीं रहता, they don't have this TDS knowledge. So आपका बॉस, they are getting this work done from consultant CA or tax consultant and they pays them, उनको पे कर देते. But say suppose friends, if you have this knowledge, if you have this knowledge, so instead of your employer paying to someone else, he can pay you, and that is a beneficial for them also, and it is beneficial for us also. That's all friends. As an accountant, we should be very good with all the compliances with respect to what TDS. As an accountant, we should be very good with the all compliances with respect to what TDS. Yes. Any doubt, friends, in this example? Any doubt, anyone? Any kind of doubt? Very important, friends.
No.
No doubt. Yes. So friends, whenever you are learning TDS, whenever you are learning TDS, you have to think from deductor's point of view. We are deductor. When you think as a deductor, your mind works faster. We have to always think from deductor's point of view. Because friends, in TDS, who has to apply for 10 number? Deductor. Who is paying the salary? Deductor. Who has to deduct the tax? Deductor. Who has to pay the tax? Deductor. Who has to file the TDS return? Deductor. Who has to issue TDS certificate? Deductor. Everything is done by deductor only. Everything is done by whom, friends? Deductor only. In TDS, all the responsibility with respect to TDS, complying all the provision is of the deductor. सारा काम किसको करना है, सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसकी है, डिडक्टर की. So always you think from, friends, deductor's point of view. Yes, always you have to think from deductor's point of view. Okay. Yes, Ankit, form 16 is a TDS certificate. Yes. So friends, whenever you are learning TDS, as I told you, you have to think from, friend, deductor's point of view. So whenever you are learning TDS, what is expected from you? First of all, friends, you should know TDS is deducted under provisions of Income Tax Act. Provisions of Income Tax Act. Income Tax ना friends act है, यहाँ पे लिखा है कि employer salary pay करते वक्त TDS deduct करेगा. Yes. So under income tax there are different what sections. Under income tax there are different what sections under which TDS has to be deducted. So whenever you are learning TDS, you should know three things. आपको तीन चीजें पता होनी चाहिए. Under which section TDS has to be deducted. सबसे पहले आपको क्या पता होना चाहिए, TDS कौन से सेक्शन में डिडक्ट करना है, heading it. Then at what rate TDS is to be deducted. So when you go for interview for accounting profile or taxation profile, your interviewer can ask, he is expected to have knowledge about this. He can ask you the sections, he can ask you the rate. तो सबसे पहले क्या पता होना चाहिए, we should know under which section TDS is to be deducted. Then at what rate TDS is to be deducted. Friends, we don't have to deduct TDS every time. Friends, we don't have to deduct TDS every time. यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे employer is not going to deduct TDS for all the employees. Employer सारे employee के salary में से TDS deduct नहीं करेगा. TDS is to be deducted if the payment which is made exceeds the certain limit. TDS अपने को कब deduct करना है? If the payment which we are making exceeds the certain limit. If it exceeds a certain limit, then only we have to deduct TDS, and that limit is basically called as an threshold limit. That limit is basically called as what means threshold limit. So in TDS, friends, we should know all these three things. Under which section TDS is to be deducted, at what rate TDS is to be deducted, and what is the threshold limit. We are expected to know these three things. Getting it? So we'll discuss few sections of TDS. कुछ sections discuss करते हैं. First section is section 194I. Section 194. So we have to read as section 194I. Heading of section 194I is TDS on. Heading of section 194I is TDS on rent. Before that, I'll show you some notes. Deductor's responsibility. What is deductor's responsibility? You can see, identify the nature of payment. सबसे पहले you have to identify what kind of payment we are doing. Whether we are making payment of salaries, rent, professional fees, interest. Obtain PAN number of the deductee. The person whom we are paying, if we are paying salaries to employee, obtain the PAN number of all the employees. If the employee, friends, one of the very important, if the employee does not provide you the PAN number, meaning if the deductee does not provide you the PAN number, deduct TDS at the rate of 20%. अगर कोई एम्प्लॉई है, कोई डिडक्टी है, पैन नंबर नहीं दे रहा है ना फ्रेंड्स, 20% TDS डिडक्ट करो, नेक्स्ट टाइम बराबर लाके देगा वो. He will give you proper PAN number. So obtain the PAN number, deduct the tax, deposit that tax to the government, file the TDS return, and issue the TDS certificate to all the deductees. So this is the responsibility of deductor. A good accountant is the one who knows all these provisions. Yes, friend. A good accountant is the one who knows all these provisions. Yes. So yeah, let's discuss few sections, please. Let's discuss few sections. Section 194I, which is TDS on rent. Section 194I, which is TDS on rent. We'll take this example only, friends. Reliance Industries Limited. Reliance Industries Limited. They were using my property. I'm the owner. I'm the owner, friends. I have given, friends, I have given my property to be used by Reliance. मैंने अपना property use करने के लिए किसको दिया है? Reliance को. So who will pay the rent? Will pay the rent? Reliance Industries Limited. They are using my property, so they will pay the rent. As a landlord, as a owner, I'm going to receive the rent. So whenever we learn the TDS, we have to think from deductor's point of view. So we are deductor here. We are deductor. Say suppose from the property which we have taken on rent, the rent is friends, 25,000 per month. We have taken a property on rent. We have taken a property on rent, and the rent of that property is 25,000 per month. So who is paying this rent, friends? Reliance Industries Limited. They are paying the rent. So we are deductor, friends. So while making payment of TDS, not TDS, rent, while making payment of rent, TDS has to be deducted. TDS has to be deducted. Under which section, friends? TDS is to be deducted under section 194I. Okay. At what rate? At what rate? TDS is to be deducted at the rate of 10%. Very important. When we pays the rent, TDS is to be deducted at the rate of 10%. जब भी हम कोई रेंट पे कर रहे हैं तो TDS कितना डिडक्ट करोगे? 10%. What's the threshold limit? What is the threshold limit? Very important. Threshold limit is 2,40,000. For deducting the TDS on rent, threshold limit is 2,40,000. So compare here. We are paying rent how much? हम कितना rent pay कर रहे थे friends? 25,000. In financial year we have how many months? 12 months, April to March. So rent for entire 12 months. Rent for entire 12 months will be how much? 3 lakhs. Does 3 lakh exceeds the threshold limit of 2,40,000? Yes. Does 3 lakh exceeds the threshold limit of 2,40,000? Yes. So this rent which we are paying, it exceeds the threshold limit. Since it exceeds the threshold limit, so from the first month onwards itself, we have to deduct TDS. हम यहाँ पे रेंट कितना पे कर रहे थे, टोटल कितना पे करने वाले? 3 लाख. थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट कितना है? 2,40,000. मतलब लिमिट एक्सीड हो रहा है. यस, हम जो रेंट पे करें वो 2,40,000 से ज्यादा है. थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट एक्सीड हो रहा है फ्रेंड्स. थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट एक्सीड हो रहा है तो फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट मंथ, यस फ्रेंड, from the first month itself we have to deduct TDS. Getting it? How much? कितना deduct करोगे friends? Rate is how much? 10%. Rate is how much? 10%. So TDS at the rate of 10%. How much will be the TDS? 10% of 25,000, that is 2,500. After deducting TDS, friends, after deducting TDS, how much we are going to pay? Owner को rent कितना pay करेंगे? 25,000 minus 2,500. 22,500 is paid to whom? Paid to the owner. 22,500 is paid to the owner, and this 2,500 is paid to the friends government. Okay. Now, friends, we should know the accounting entry also, because as an accountant, friends, we are going to pass the entry. Since we are going to pass the entry, so we should know the accounting entry. We have to always think accounting. We have to always pass accounting entry from the deductor's point of view. अपने को एंट्री किसके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से सोचना फ्रेंड्स? डिडक्टर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. चलो, what should be the entry? I'll tell you. We are paying rent. Say suppose when this rent of 25,000 is for the month of June. 25,000 rent which we are paying, that is pertaining to month of June 24. Now friends, it is very clear that rent of June month is normally paid next month. Like friends, as an employee, salary of the July month we receive in August. Similar way, rent of June month is paid on next month. In accounting, we follow accrual concept. Accrual concept says even if it is paid in next month, it will be expenses of current month only. So June rent of 25,000 pertains to June month. So by following accrual concept, we have to book as an expenses. Normally, friends, accrual entry. This is called as due entry. Due entry is always passed on the last day of the month. It is combination of friends. It is combination of accounting and taxation. A good accountant is the one who knows accounting who has overall knowledge of accounting as well as taxation. So friends, this is the rule for rent for the month of June, and due entries is always passed on the last day of the month. What should be the entry, friends? Rent is an expense for us, and by following nominal account rule, it says debit all expenses. So rent is an expenses. By following nominal account rule, we have to debit the how much? Gross rent is how much, friends? 25,000. Out of 25,000, friends, 2,500. Out of 25,000, friends, 2,500 we have deducted as TDS. And that TDS we have to pay to the government. Since that TDS we have to pay to the government, that's why it is a liability for us, for deductor. Since it is a liability for us, friends, liability always has, whenever you record any liability, keep in mind, whenever you record any liability, liability always has which effect? Credit effect. Yes. Liability always has which effect? Credit effect. Credit TDS on rent. How much is the TDS? 2,500. Okay. Now, friend, the remaining 22,500, had we paid this rent on 30th June? No, friends. This rent we are going to pay in the next month. This rent we are going to pay in the next month. So on 30th of June, since we have not passed, I mean, we have not paid the entry, not, we have not paid this rent. So it is again liability for us. And since it is again liability for us, friends, liability always has credit effect. So friends, this remaining rent we have to pay to whom? Owner. Since we have to pay to the owner will become what? Creditor for us. So we can credit the owner's account. We can credit the owner's account, or we can use word. It is not paid, so it is also called as, friends, outstanding. Or you can else you can use ledger outstanding rent. So friends, this is the entry of due. In this entry, friends, what we have shown, try to understand. We have shown that 2,500 TDS we have deducted, which we have to pay to the government. So it is a liability. 22,500 we have to pay to the owner, and overall 25,000 is an expense for us. Overall 25,000 is an, friends, expense for us. Getting it? Understood. 2,500 TDS we have deducted. In which month? June month. So as per income tax act, friends, TDS is to be deducted by 7th, I mean not deducted, it is to be paid to the government by 7th of next month. Meaning 2,500 TDS we have deducted. In which month? In the June month. So whatever TDS you have deducted from 1st June to 30th June, that TDS we have to pay in subsequent month. So after June, the subsequent month is July. Till what time? Till 7th of July. You can pay on any day between 1st to 7th. 1 से लेके 7 तारीख के बीच में कभी भी पे कर सकते हो. Okay. See. Say suppose we have paid on 7th of July, last date. In accounting office, all the work is mostly done on the last day. On 7th July only we have paid. So what entry we have to pass, friends? What entry we have to pass? See, TDS is a liability for us. Liability has credit effect. And once it is paid, जब भी कोई liability book करोगे, liability create होगा, liability pay कर देगा. Once the liability is paid, it will be a debited because our liability is getting cancelled. So here we have credited it. Now that TDS we are paying to the government, we have to debit it. How we have to pay? We have to pay from our bank account. So credit what goes out? funds goes from our bank account. So we have to credit the bank account. Credit what goes out? How much? Much funds? 2,500. 2,500. This is the entry for payment of. This is the entry for payment of what, friends? TDS. This is the entry for payment of TDS. The next entry will be we have to pay a rent also. To who? Owner. Once the rent, say suppose on 10th July, we have paid rent to the owner. So debit the receiver. Who is receiving the payment? Owner. We have to debit the owner's account, or you have used a ledger called as outstanding rent. So you can use a ledger outstanding rent. This one. Owner. We have paid him also through check. So payment goes from your bank account. Credit what goes out. Yes, friends. Credit what goes out. This is entry for payment of what, friends? जर्नल एंट्री एक बार फिर से एक्सप्लेन करूं. बहुत सिंपल सा जर्नल एंट्री. देखिए हमको रेंट क्या करना है? पे करना है. इसलिए रेंट को हमने एक्सपेंस कर दिया. एक्सपेंसेस को डेबिट करना है. 25,000 में से हमने टीडीएस डिडक्ट किया. डिडक्ट करके गवर्नमेंट को पे करना है. तो हमारे लिए लायबिलिटी और लायबिलिटी को क्रेडिट करना है. यस. 22,500 अपने को ओनर को पे करना है. फिर से हमारे लिए लायबिलिटी हुआ. जितनी बार लायबिलिटी बुक करोगे हमेशा लायबिलिटी को क्या करना है? क्रेडिट करना है. यस. अब जून मंथ में जो भी टीडीएस हमने डिडक्ट किया उसका पेमेंट कब करना है? 7 जुलाई तक. तो लायबिलिटी क्रेडिट होता है जब पे कर दोगे. तो लायबिलिटी खत्म हो गई. लायबिलिटी खत्म हो गई तो लायबिलिटी को डेबिट कर दो. तो यहाँ पे क्रेडिट, यहाँ पे डेबिट. हमें सामने कैंसिल. लायबिलिटी क्या कैंसिल्ड. तो लायबिलिटी को हमने डेबिट कर दिया. और पैसा कहाँ से पे किया? टीडीएस का पेमेंट कहाँ से किया? बैंक से. क्रेडिट व्हाट गोस आउट? रियल अकाउंट करो. क्रेडिट व्हाट गोस आउट? बैंक को क्रेडिट कर दिया. यस. एंड फिर हमने किसको पे किया? ओनर को पे किया. तो पेमेंट किसको मिल रहा है? ओनर को. डेबिट द रिसीवर. ओनर के अकाउंट को डेबिट कर दो क्योंकि हम रेंट किसको पे कर रहे हैं? ओनर को. सो डेबिट द रिसीवर. और उसको भी पेमेंट कहाँ से किया हमने? चेक से, बैंक से. क्रेडिट व्हाट गोज आउट? बैंक को क्रेडिट कर दिया. समझ गए? पूजा. Yes, friends. Any doubt, friends, in this entry? Anyone, any doubt in this accounting entry? Any doubt, friends? Anyone, any doubt in this accounting entry? I shall scroll up. Okay. Till here. This portion you are talking about, or which one? This was the rent, and these were the examples where we have learned the concept of deductor and deductee. Then now, friends, payment of TDS is to be done. Payment of TDS is to be done through e-filing portal. Yes, friend. How we have to pay the TDS? TDS we have to pay through e-filing portal. I'll show you the method. I mean the procedure how to pay the TDS. Procedure also, just for your knowledge. E-filing. Okay. Go to e-filing, income tax department. Go to e-filing portal, income tax department. And this is a website. This is an e-filing portal which is used. Very important site, friends. As an accounting candidate as an accounting professional, we should know this particular site. Friends, this side is for income tax return filing. This side for income tax payment. This side is used for TDS payment. This side is used for TDS return filing as well. Getting it, friends? So you must be knowing 31st July. I mean July month is going on. So we have to file income tax return for 23-24. This is a website, friend. This is a website. So when I teach to my candidates, I teach ITR filing live on this particular website. Yes. So for making a TDS payment, friends, see, we have to select which option? E-pay tax. Yes, e-pay tax. E-pay tax. TAN number. Now, friends, here in this our example, who is paying the rent? Reliance. So TAN number should be of Reliance. अपने एग्जांपल में फ्रेंड्स टीडीएस कौन पे कर रहा था, रेंट कौन पे कर रहा था? रिलायंस. तो टीडीएस भी कौन डिडक्ट करेगा फ्रेंड्स? रिलायंस. और पे भी कौन करेगा फ्रेंड्स? रिलायंस. ओके. So TAN number of Reliance. So I'm just putting one sample TAN number, friends. Friends, you can see this is TAN number CALI. The first four digit, friends, first four digit of TAN number will represent that deductor belongs to which city. Deductors belongs to which city. So friends, you can see here CALI. It's Kolkata. If the deductor is from Delhi, so their TAN number will start from DELH, something like that. If deductor is based in Mumbai, so their TAN number will start from MUM, Mumbai, just for identification purpose. Yes. Mobile number of company's directors. Mobile number of director of that company. In case of company, the mobile number of director. Yes, yes. In case of partnership firm, the mobile number of partners. In case of proprietorship, the mobile number of owner, proprietor. So I'm using mobile number of director. Continue. On the mobile number which has been used, which has been specified, friends, OTP will be delivered. We have to put that OTP. Yes. Continue. Continue. What we are paying, friends? Assessment year, friends. Assessment year. So how you are going to decide the assessment year? When we have detected this TDS, June 24. This TDS we have detected in the month of June 24. So this is June 24. I mean, which financial year, friends? 24-25. So for 24-25, assessment year will be 25-26. Yes, friends. Assessment year will be 25-26. Select here. Yes, 25-26. What we are paying? TDS. What we are paying for TDS. Now select the sections. See friends, these are so many sections. We have deducted TDS. We have deducted TDS under section 194I. We have deducted TDS under section 194I. So please check where is section 194I. Next page. We didn't got assessment year because income of previous year is assessed in next year. I mean, whatever income we earn in previous year, that on that income we have to pay tax in the next year. That is assessment year. Assessment year means the year in which we have to pay the tax on the income which is earned in previous year. Getting it? That's why we have to always select assessment year. So friends, section was this section 194I. See here we have 194I and you can see heading rent. Continue. Now friends, we have detected TDS for whose landlord is Janendra. Janendra now friends, it is an individual. Landlord is an individual. Individual, that means friend, it is called as other than company deducting. Yes, friends. Yeah, we are about to wind up. We are about to wind up. Other than company deducting. So, friends, other than company deducting, for the amount, how much is the TDS? 2,500. 2,500 it was? Yes. TDS is 2,500. Continue, friends. See, you can make payment of TDS using net banking. You can pay it through debit card. You can directly go to the bank counter and you can pay. Again, this is RTGS, NEFT. You can make through UPI. Normally, friends, in office, you will make payment through net banking. So we have to select a bank. We have to select a bank which is used for TDS payment. Yes, friends. We have to select a bank which is used for TDS payment. I mean, the bank in which our organization has net banking. So suppose I have got net banking facility in ICICI. Continue. This is pertains to 25-26. Assessment year, financial year 24-25. Under which section we are paying 94I. How much we are paying TDS? 2,500. Pay now. Pay now. Submit to the bank. $2,500. Now, friends, if we are a corporate user, I mean, we have a current account, so that is corporate user. If we have saving account, this is bank to banks. So we are a retail user. Yes. Now, I can show you only till here, friends. After 90% work we have done, we have to use, I mean, enter net banking user ID and password. We have to log in using net banking user ID and password. Our OTP will be sent on the registered mobile number with the bank. We have to put that OTP. We have to put that OTP, friends. And once you put that OTP, 2,500 will be deducted from our account and it will be credited to government account. अपने account में से 2,500 deduct हो जाएगा और government के account में 2,500 क्या हो जाएगा friend जमा हो जाएगा. And once the payment is done, friends, you will get a final challan. आपको final challan मिलेगा. You will get a final challan, and that challan is called as, friends, ITNS 281. You will get a final challan, and that challan number is called as, friends, ITNS 281. So interviewer can ask you which challan is used for payment of TDS. Interviewer आपसे पूछ सकता है friends, which challan is used for payment of TDS. You should be able to tell that ITNS 281. Okay. Okay. So we have discussed most. I mean, whatever most important concepts were there. So any doubt, friends? Anyone? Any doubt in whatever topic we have discussed? Very important concept. Anyone? Any doubt in whatever topic we have discussed? Yes. Any doubt, friends, in overall topic of TDS? Challan number is, I mean, like जब आप बैंक में जाते हो फॉर डिपॉजिटिंग कैश, आप वहाँ पे यू फिल पे स्लिप भरते हैं जहाँ पे हम अपना अकाउंट अपना नाम अकाउंट नंबर लिखते हैं। वैसे जब आप व्हेन यू पे द टीडीएस टू द गवर्नमेंट, that all time you pay, I mean you fill a challan. That challan is called as ITNH 281. ITNH 281 से आप उसको भरते हैं, getting it? So ITNH 281 चालान है जो TDS which is used for paying the TDS to the government. Okay. So I hope you all would have enjoyed today's session, and there is a addition in your knowledge as far as TDS is concerned. Yes, very important concept, friends. Very important concept as discussed. So if you have any other doubt with respect to topic, you all can ask me, friends. Excel sheet. I'll share the Excel sheet. I'll share the Excel sheet with Arzu ma'am, so you all can get from ma'am. Okay. I'll share the Excel sheet with the Arzu ma'am. You all can get it from the ma'am. Definitely, I'll share the Excel sheet. It is important. So I'll share that Excel sheet with the Arzu ma'am. You all can take it from the ma'am. Okay. Class and timing and all that, ma'am will inform you. Ma'am will inform you. Yeah, thank you so much, Sharmila. Thank you so much for your appreciations. Under which section TDS is to be deducted under salary. On salary, we have to deduct TDS under section 192. On salary, we have to deduct TDS under section 192. So in our course of session, we'll discuss all the sections one by one. Okay. So can we close for the day, friends? Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we can close now. I mean, I can close from my end. Sita, ma'am.
Yes, yes, sure. Any feedback about the classes, students?
Yeah, you all can share the feedback.
Your feedback in the chat box. Okay, how we like the class and what were the topics? Okay, what about others? Okay, guys, thank you for the such a wonderful feedback. So yes, yes, we'll share the recordings in the WhatsApp group. We'll also send you participation certificate if you have send your details in the WhatsApp group. Okay, it will take 2 to 3 days for issuing your participation certificates. Okay. Thank you, sir, for joining the masterclass. Thank you, students. Have a great day. Sanjana, we'll let you know about the class timings.
I can leave, ma'am.
Yes, yes, sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.